Come on, 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 come on. Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Wow. Wow. According to this, July 14th, 2024. And as you all may have seen, the world has seen at this point, the former president, former 45th president of the United States, who is running again this year, Donald Trump. There was an assassination attempt that missed and failed. And there's a lot of shit, regardless of, listen, guys, I get there's a lot of opinions that have been said about, a lot of nasty things that have been said about, a lot of nasty memes, a lot of just disgusting things that have been said about it. Some of it self-inflicted on his end and all that. But nobody deserves to be shot and killed. That there's not anything that needs to be condoned, not anything that needs to be justified by any stretch of the imagination. I don't give a shit what you do. You don't deserve to be shot in broad daylight and killed and things like that. That's not something positive by any means. There's nothing positive about that. I don't care how you try to spin it or what's going to be said. I know because I've spoken to people who despise Trump in ways that are just inhumane. There's no justification for what happened yesterday. All right, that's just wrong. On no two ways about it, wrong on so many levels. And what it actually did, in my honest opinion, is it actually has given him more energy to his supporters. I mean, I was scrolling through some social media. I don't do it often, but some of the people that I know, some of the business owners that I know personally, it actually fired them up even more. You know, so one guy's game on. You try to take a shot at our president. Now they're even more hungry to get Trump back in office than they were before yesterday. So whoever did it, it didn't help the Biden administration. It didn't help the the Democrats by any stretch of the imagination. And that's just what happens, because it is wrong for anybody to have to live through that, regardless of who the person is. All right. So as far as what my thoughts are about the situation, I want to draw a connection to you guys and re-emphasize something that I've said on multiple occasions, and that we have to, again, because one of the things, the superpower that yours truly has is giving you the perspective on teamwork, giving you the perspective whenever something happens, whenever there's a major event that happens, or major current event, whatever it is. I am here to give you the perspective on teamwork. And what I need you to do is I need you to go look up a guy named Ed Stack. Ed Stack is the founder of Dick's Sporting Goods. It was his father, Robert, and then his father handed it down to the son. And, you know, they started out as you guys know what Dick's Sporting Goods is, you know, basically it sounds like it is the company that sells sporting equipment and things like that. They started out actually as a hunting store where they would, you know, sell hunting gear and some of the products that were included in this hunting gear and all that, in the hunting apparel and all the hunting stuff that they used to sell. Some of the products included guns, right? And what happened, the way Ed Stack describes it in his book, It's How You Play the Game. He and his wife were, obviously they have a ton of money, they have a ton of franchises, they have success, they have a lot of resources, being the business owners and having grown the company to what Dick's Sporting Goods is now known to be. I believe they were in the airport. I believe the way he describes it in his book is he and his wife were in the airport, and he heard about the shooting at Douglas. I believe Benjamin Douglas, if I'm not mistaken, was right there in Plantation. In fact, it was around the time I was living in Plantation. Stoneman Douglas. They heard about the shooting in Stoneman Douglas, and, you know, ton of people, you know, some kids lost their lives, and coach had lost their lives, parents, teachers, so many things went wrong. It was such a difficult time to get through, especially out here in South Florida. And the way that Ed Stacks describes it in his book is that he decided to be ethical. He decided that he was going to stop selling guns at Dick's Sporting Goods. And he did that against the wishes of a bunch of shareholders, a bunch of people that were telling him not to do that. And when you look up, this happened, maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. It was around that time when you look up and you see the fact that there's somebody who can get in to a former president get into his rally with a gun, you start to see how it's all of our responsibilities. It's actually all of our responsibility to make America a better place. We gotta stop putting all the pressure and putting all of the hope, I should say, on these politicians and the government to solve all our issues, when in fact it's the actual Ed Stacks. It's the people making ethical decisions. It's you, it's me, it's whoever it is decides that, hey, I'm going to run a business, and I'm going to run a business the right way. I'm not going to do all that shady shit. I'm not going to sell bullshit to people. I'm going to sell people things that they're actually going to need, and I'm going to stop the sale of things that they're actually going to need. I'm going to make my decisions from an ethical place with principle, like Ed Stack did when he made the decision to pull the guns off. Because as you can see, the fact that he did that, if everyone thought, let's kind of think about what would happen if everyone thought like Ed Stack and, hey, I'm going to pull the guns off the recreational use. I'm not going to allow guns to be sold. Let's say everyone had that thought process. This guy doesn't get into a Trump rally with a gun, and ultimately, thank God he survived it. But still, if there's still some people who lost their lives. There's still spectators who were there to support who they wanted to support. They ended up losing their lives. It is a sad, sad day. It's nothing to be celebrated, nothing positive that comes out of this. The only thing we can do, the only thing I can re-emphasize to you is understanding the importance and the power that we have, and the importance and the power of being ethical when you're making your business decisions, when you're making whatever decisions you're trying to make in regards to your finances, in regards to your family, in regards to how you move forward and how you're able to make your money, and however it is you're able to make a living for yourself. Make sure you're coming from an ethical place, because when you do it and then this person does it and I do it and then this person does it, and then you just make it so our kids see, look, business is about being an ethical human being, then you avoid the bullshit. You avoid the bullshit that we had to witness yesterday, where you see, people screaming, just terrified. And what happens now, because we're in this election cycle, because we're in the process of, this one versus this one, now what's going to happen is there's going to be more division, more divisiveness in general. And that's the problem. And it started from a place of, again, let me not say it started. It could have been avoided if there were more people that felt like Ed Stack and said, hey, I'm taking guns off the shelves because it's just the right thing to do, and I'm doing what I have to do to serve our country in my little way. Again, you're not going to solve all the problems out there, but you can do your motherfucking part. You can do your part to keep certain things away from our kids and make it so we can potentially avoid situations like what we had to see yesterday. All right. All that being said, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, makeyourmove.com. That's makeymove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.